what are you guys excited about? Tell me a little. I didn't see the panel. I had somebody else.
Oh, you didn't?
So, so what are you guys excited about? Just personally, fan geeking out about.
What are we excited about? I am personally extremely excited about that guy right there. We revealed Vader, 6-inch. We did oh, thanks so much. We did a Vader back in the blue line for Black Series, and we were super excited to get him out. And he was a good Vader, but I think we, as well as the fans, were a little underwhelmed. And as Steve puts it, there were certain kind of gimmicks thrown in there. So we said we have to do a pure Vader. We have to go back and do just like an awesome.
There was there was an absolute need for purity. Just quintessential Vader, do him right. The sculptors spent a long time. Sculptors worked on this one and a 3 3/4 inch version, and it was like a dream come true to actually sit down and do a pure plain Vader, but really, really well. Even down to the deco, we're decoing the different cheap colours, which they did in the movie. They painted them different colours to kind of add form to it, because it was just like cheap black plastic. So we followed that. So really happy just to do a Vader is cool. Something really nice about it. So what we're looking at there are kind of a pre-production ones, so they're not kind of quite final. So the material still needs some work, but we want to announce that here. So here we go.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, I mean, seeing Rogue One in Black Series and 3 3/4, getting that out. I mean, it's always super excited when we can take a brand new movie, brand new characters, and bring them to life in figure form. You know, I mean, we love the classics and we'll always love them, but it's just great to see the universe expanding and being able to do those figures. It's really pretty awesome.
How did the TIE Fighter do as a larger scale?
That was a big box.
Yes, it was.
That was a real big box, and like a lot of people kind of found a home for it. Some people couldn't find a home for it, but we announced today that we confirmed today that we're going to be doing some new vehicles.
Oh, great!
So that's cool. It's a 6-inch scale, but yeah, it was a big purchase. There's so many other vehicles we can do, various different sizes. Clear, might not do the AT-AT. I know a lot of people saying, "Hey, we're getting the AT-AT driver." Yes, do an AT-AT. So. Yeah.
I got one, and my dog doesn't know what to do with it. He just sits there,
scared
and just like scared, like it bears back and everything. So it was great. So I'm happy to hear that. What are some of the challenges that you guys have doing, those larger scale things? Because they're definitely geared collector. It's harder to sell to like the moms to bring little ones for those.
Absolutely. I mean, from a design point of view, clearly big bits of plastic, larger plastic, you get kind of more warpage and different things that you have to kind of take into account and kind of consider. They're big tools. These are big hunks of steel that we have to use and move around and kind of, get in the line. But that's definitely outweighed with just seeing a vehicle for a 6-inch figure, because you can get so much detail in there. You get so many little kind of nooks and crannies and little things that just kind of please the collector. As you're right. It's kind of much more of a collector kind of aim. But in terms of marketing and kind of getting it on shelf, Joe, what do you?
Yeah, I think because of its size and its price point, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's definitely more collector driven. When we produce something, we like to balance it. We have big broad lines that we know that they'll do very well, and we'll sell enough to kind of warrant the investment we put into it. This is one of those items that you don't know necessarily. It's a big item. How many people are going to want to? How many people have a room, literally to buy that? And it's certainly not cheap to produce. So it's sort of a love letter to fans, and we do things like that where we're like, we're going to go out on a limb. We think this is just awesome. We're so excited about this ourselves, but we don't know if we'll be able to sell enough to really kind of warrant it. But in this particular case, we did, and it was really thrilling for us to see that.
It's important to do those Halo projects as well. Those kind of big, demonstrable, kind of crazy kind of projects. It's good for us, good for morale, good for design, good for creativity, good for collectors and things. We have to throw things that are unusual in there.
Retailer exclusive with Walmart. You guys have been doing that Black Series. That last wave was incredible. I did not expect taking the helmet off the Emperor's Guard. Seeing all the detail and sculpting and everything like that. How's that doing in terms of, going forward and continuing with that? Is it, from a collector standpoint, I think that's the line that I'm kind of putting the backing towards. So how's that going for you guys? And what direction do you want to go with that? Yeah, I mean, it is going well. And this is a hot topic, amongst a lot of collectors. They see what Super Articulated was back in, 2010 and what it is now in terms of the depth and how we sort of refocused the line. We all
love super articulated 3 3/4 in the vintage collection. So, we had to prioritize and make some tough decisions. The fact that Walmart did keep taking this and has it as an exclusive, and that we continue to do new and also bring back some of those, vintage figures that didn't really, get enough. Hit the demand, if you will.
Absolutely.
Is really exciting. So we talk about it constantly. We have plans in place, or we're working on plans to do more and more with it. So I think it's the future looks really bright for super articulated 3 3/4.
Is the overall plan to continue to put the new properties, like not specifically character-wise, but Rogue One and the new episodes, mixing that in with the original trilogy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where you guys are really important. Where you and your listeners and kind of followers are really important. And a lot of that last wave came from feedback.
Yep.
We listened, and because we want to understand what was short packed, what was difficult to get hold of, what's being sold for lots of money on eBay, and how can we kind of give that slice of our audience kind of what they want. So the Emperor's Guard is a great case in point. It was like, I heard very, very loudly that, hey, we want ERGs.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Get
Clone
them to us.
Wars is so
And we went, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So where we've got like a smaller range, it's even more important to kind of listen and kind of get feedback from communities like yours to which are the right ones to do. Because I don't want to do ones that you don't want.
Right.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
So that wave, I think, really epitomizes the sort of the communication we've had with the fan community, the kind of collector community. A year and it takes a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We had those sort of discussions and we listened. So that'll be a formula going forward. We kind of really look to you to sort of highlight the ones that you really need.
You guys kind of moved into the 6-inch world in the last couple of years, whereas Marvel's been doing it for almost 20. We're getting up there, those kind of things. What kind of things do you guys do to kind of separate yourself from that? Smaller waves, a little bit more than that, but how are you kind of using what they're doing to kind of inspire that and kind of going back and forth?
Yeah, I mean, Black Series was 100% inspired by the success of Marvel. We saw that as a huge opportunity for Star Wars. We look at, the fact that they include build-up figure pieces, just sort of how they wave. It's a little bit of a different beast.
Right.
Because of the way Marvel characters are, they're able to reutilize a lot of tooling, and they do a lot more kind of redeco. A Star Wars figure is almost purely unique every time you do one.
Right.
So the depth. We started Black Series and said, we don't want to make this something where we do 50 figures a year. We want something that's consumable, that's paced out, appropriate, and we've definitely done more than we originally set out because of the success. But we're looking at what they're doing. I think we're always looking at ways to kind of flesh out that universe, vehicles, set pieces, things like that. A lot of things we've talked about.
Teams talk. We talk. We literally sit near each other, so we're always kind of looking. We try not to be too. We don't want to be a me too. We don't want to necessarily do what they do, but there are certain things that they do that can apply for us, and vice versa. But we will often have chats about. I'll say play and display. So it's like we get some people buy Black Series that want to play, and we get some who want to display, and there's all the shades of grey in between. So things like Kenobi's layer table, the Jinna So exclusive that we did with the base with the foot pegs. Trying to add more so people can express themselves better on shelf or play with. So that's something we influence each other like that, and just. Tricks in the trade, like what's a new way to apply deco, what's a new plastic, what's a new joint, those kind of things. So that's always useful. We're always talking about that and kind of trying to not one up each other,
right?
But it's like, hey, look at this. This is a great new way you can do this. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's good. It's healthy.
You can come to Walmart.
Yeah, thank you. So my last one's kind of a request I've already made with you, but how. Looking at the future of the Black Series, the 6-inch at least, how hard is it to kind of balance out those smaller figures? Because we see the asymmetrics in a 3-pack rather than a single pack now, and they've got a lot of smaller scale characters you see throughout all the different movies. So how hard is it to balance that and put it in?
It is. It is hard because sometimes when we'll do like Rey and BB-8, we can squeeze some in.
Yeah.
There are other smaller characters that we're looking at that we can put into exclusives. Exclusives help just because you're not set to a set box size and price point expectation, so you can kind of mix it out. It is difficult. There are a lot of Ewoks and Jawas and things like that they kind of want to do, but it's like, how can I charge? Can we charge that for a small piece of figure? I don't know. So 2 packs and exclusives and things, but we want to make sure the exclusives are, you can get hold of them, things like that. So.
Sort of on the opposite end of the spectrum, there were some bigger characters too that we were like, really, wow, we have to do this figure, but like can't do it for $19.99.
Like
can't fit in the box.
Gamorrean God, prime example.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think we could. I don't know how we do that.
It's
We have to
yeah.
address that through kind of like one-off exclusives or comic convention, things like that.
Would you consider a Build-A-Figure for something like that?
I think that adds. It's difficult because it kind of the way it's sort of it's set is like when you get a sort of standard figure,
Right.
like a Stormtrooper we call X, like an X figure, X height. That's the value of $20.
Gotcha.
So to put in an extra is tricky. But
Yeah.
there are small characters and big characters I want to get to, and we will get to them by hook or by crook somehow.
Yeah,
Work
I mean,
it out.
these guys with the Build-A-Figure, we love what Marvel does, but for Star Wars, to keep it at $19.99 Black Series, I mean, these guys squeeze every ounce of blood out of that stone to get the best deco, the best detail for the figure itself. Once we start putting Build-A-pieces in, something has to give, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.